Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Long Gone Loser Rock Show. Today we're just going to talk about random records, and I just pulled a few from my record collection today because I had something that I wanted to talk about with them. I'll probably forget that once I start doing this record thing, but yeah, let's get stuck into it. The first band I want to talk about was a band that I didn't even know about at the time, but in 2008 I was in Switzerland and I was visiting some friends, and they told me about this band that I didn't even know this. And this is weird for me because I'm a diehard Ramones fan and I had no idea that this band was a thing. But Marky Ramone was in this band Dust. Now, this record I'd never even heard of, I'd never even seen it before, but my friends told me about it and they said, dude, have you heard this before? And I was like, no. They knew where to find this record, and so we went and we bought it because, as you can see on the back there, Mark Bell, Mr. Marky Ramone, is on this record playing a different style of drums to what he was doing in the Ramones. And this record is kind of like power trio rock and roll. So like your bands like, Grand Funk Triumph, the bands of that era, Blue Cheer, that sort of stuff. And it's really, really good. Like, I really like this record. It's, just great 70s rock and roll. And if you've never heard it before, check it out. And it has become pretty easy to find over the years because on Record Store Day, we got this double LP release, which is basically the first album that I've just showed you and the second album on a double LP set. So, you've got this nice gatefold there with the two back covers and stuff, but you get both records together. I bought this purely because I didn't have this one. And while I think this album is good, I definitely think the first one is a lot better. So, but yeah, Dust. If you don't know Dust and you love power trio 70s rock and roll, check them out. You'll dig it for sure. The next band I want to talk about is this classic metal band, Possessed. It's really hard to film this because the cover is so shiny. Like, look at that. Look at the reflection. Woo! You can see outside the windows. This album, Seven Churches, this was the first thing I ever heard by the band. It was a song called Pentagram that was played on the metal show that we had in Adelaide. And I just remember thinking, like, what the hell is this? I was really young when I heard it. My brother was more into it than me, but over the years I really got into it too. And this record is just raw and it's just really good metal. Like, if you like your evil metal stuff, well, you'll dig this record. But it's probably a bit like, Old Celtic Frost and stuff like that. So if that's your sort of jam, check Possessed out if you don't already know. I'm assuming if you're into metal, you already know this album. But it's really cool because these photos on the back are just amazing. And the guitar player is Mr. Larry Lalonde, who went on to be in Primus. But for those who don't know, but if you're into Possessed, you probably do know, Larry Lalonde was also in a hardcore band called Corrupted Morals. Now, this band had releases on Lookout Records. This is one of their singles on Lookout. This doesn't have Larry, but he is thanked on the back. I don't think he had joined the band at this time, but he is on this. And so if you're trying to be a Primus or Possessed completist, then yeah, you need this in your collection. This band rules. I got to see them at the Lookouting, which was an event where a bunch of Lookout Records bands got together, and these guys got together. Sadly, Larry Lalonde was not there, but the band still played, and it was awesome. It was really, really awesome. So, Corrupted Morals, this is really good hardcore punk. So if that's your jam, or if you like Lookout Record stuff or whatever, give this a whirl. It's really, really good. Both of these releases are awesome. So, love them. Another band I want to talk about is Tumor Circus. These records were released on Alternative Tentacles Records, Jello Biafra's label. This is the Swine Flu 7-inch, and this is the Swine Flu 12-inch. And this is the LP. At the time, I'd never heard anything by Tumor Circus back when this came out, but my friend bought the CD first and listened to it, and I don't think he liked it because he ended up just giving it to me. But I love it. And I'd say that this is one of the best things that Jello has done post Dead Kennedys. Although, to be honest, my favourite post Dead Kennedys record is the collaboration he did with DOA, Last Scream of the Missing Neighbours. I think that LP rules. And if you don't know that album, you need that album because that album is phenomenal. And I don't know why it hasn't been repressed. But yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. Either way, Tumor Circus is cool. This is like a mixture of, how would you say? It's a lot of noise. But there are songs hidden within that noise that are just so damn good. So there's lots of weird guitar sounds and stuff like that with a really thumping bass line and, Jello's great lyrics over the top. This album is strongly inspired by George Bush of the time because, Jello's lyrics are very political. And, yeah, this one is just phenomenal. Like, it really is. And there's a song in there called The Man with the Corkscrew Eyes, which is just it's such a great song. Like, it really is. It's just... I don't know. I just love the drum beat to the down, 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 down. It's really, really cool. So yeah, Tumor Circus. If you can find this LP, grab it. I don't think it's expensive because, it doesn't have Dead Kennedys written on it. But it's just as good as anything like that. So check that out. Tumor Circus. Really good stuff. And like I said, here's the 12-inch of Swine Flu. And Take Me Back or I'll Drown Our Dog. Really cool. And Fireball, which is, I don't think it's on the album from memory. But anyway, the next thing I want to talk about is this. Extreme Noise Terror and the KLF. Now, you might remember the KLF were really, really big in the 90s. They had that song 3am Eternal. It was like late 80s, early 90s. What was the other one? Last Train to Trans Central was the other one. And they were huge. Like, they were always on the TV over here on the music video TV shows. And I just remember, lots of, beats and stuff. It seems like they sold the band as like a hip-hop band. Underneath it all was a guy called Bill Drummond. And, he did what was the other song he did? Doctor Who and the TARDIS, something like that, whatever. And it seemed like he just put projects together to make money. And this was one of the projects he did was 3am Eternal by KLF. Now, in the early 90s, KLF were asked to go on the Brit Music Awards. They had the biggest song of the year, so it was, it was only just that they opened the show. Now, it happened, and in front of a wide audience, TV coverage, the whole lot, they performed this together. Bill Drummond walks out with a gun at the end and starts opening fire on the audience. It was filled with blanks, but still. But it's an amazing performance. Like, it really was a shocking thing, I guess, for its time. And I love the audience reaction at the end. They just seem stunned at what they just saw. They're just like, what the fuck? But they're clapping anyway. But anyway, this EP got released. Now, I got this from Japan. I don't think it's rare. I think you can pick it up pretty cheap if you want it. I think I got it for $12. And it is a studio version of the two bands together doing 3am Eternal. And it is brutal. It is so brutal. It's really, really cool. It's a one-sided record. The other side has nothing on it. See? You can just see a reflection there. But yeah. One-sided record, just the song, but it is so good and it's well worth having. So if you can find this, grab it and crank it up loud. It's probably on YouTube. You can listen to it if you want. But yeah, this says here, Christmas Top of the Pops 1991. So I guess they released it then for that. But yeah, Brit Music Awards. Look that up on YouTube and enjoy it because it's awesome. Last band I'm going to talk about today is pretty funny. Because I found this in Chicago at half-price books for $2.95. It is a band called Diamond Rex. They're from Chicago. The album's called Land of the Damned. And I had never heard of these guys before. But that record cover, and look at this band photo on the back. Like, as if you would leave this record there. I mean, come on. Be serious now. So anyway, I bought this for $2.95 and I took it home. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I'd never heard of these guys before. It's hella cheesy, and the crazy thing is, I believe they're still playing, which is amazing. This album came out in 1986. 1986. And I'm talking about it now in 2022. Why? Because it needs to be talked about, because it's Diamond Rex. And you probably don't know who they are. And if you don't like hair metal or hard rock, you're probably never going to listen to it. But if you've never heard this band, I actually did an interview with Steel Panther on TV. And I took some records along and got them to review them in 30 seconds or less. And this is one of the albums I took. I'll put it in the video now.
And one more?
Hold on, we're doing. Shut the fuck up. Who is it? Diamond Rex, that's insane!
Wait a minute, I don't know this band.
Fuck, who's that?
They're from Chicago.
This guy's got the look, man. I don't care how bad they sound, they're getting some pussy, man. Look at that bass. That guy has never played a bass before in his life. You can tell by this picture. That's the first time he ever picked up that fucking bass. Their bass player quit and they were like, hey dude, you want to play bass in this band? Fuck yeah. Put this lipstick on, hold this fucking bass for the picture. We're doing this shit.
What year did that come out?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
1998.
86.
There was 10
Yeah.
Fuck off.
So there we have it, my friend. Diamond Rex, Land of the Damned, $2.95 from Half Price Books in Palatine. Worth every cent. Seriously. I mean, look at that cover. I cannot rave about this cover any more than I am now because this cover is awesome. Diamond Rex, my friends. You know you want it. So there you go. Collection of records I just thought I'd talk about just because I had them out this week and thought I'd listen to them. Thank you so much for watching once again. And look after yourselves and take care of each other. And I will see you in the next video. Cheers.